Hello, everyone! The heartbreaking passing of D'Angelo, the voice that once redefined the very essence of soul music, left a silence across the world that no melody could fill. It wasn't just the loss of a singer, it was the fading of a sound that had carried truth, passion, and spirit for nearly 3 decades. D'Angelo was never just a performer, he was a messenger of feeling, a bridge between the sacred and the sensual, a man whose every note felt like it came straight from heaven and heartbreak at the same time. So when the announcement came that his funeral would be held in his hometown of Richmond, Virginia, people from every corner of the industry gathered, not out of obligation, but out of love. The crowd that filled the church wasn't made up of strangers. It was family, musicians, friends, and believers in the kind of music that touches souls. Among them stood Jamie Foxx, who shared not just a friendship with D'Angelo, but a deep spiritual bond through music. And his emotional tribute that day would leave every single person in that room changed forever. The church itself seemed to breathe with memory. Candles flickered beside a wooden casket draped in white roses. Soft organ music filled the space, and photos of D'Angelo through the years played on a large screen. From his early days as a young prodigy performing Brown Sugar, to the haunting moments of his later career, where his eyes seemed to hold both light and pain. Friends like Questlove, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, and Alicia Keys sat quietly near the front, their faces marked with the kind of grief that only comes when you lose someone who changed your life. You could feel it in the air. This wasn't just a funeral, it was a gathering of hearts trying to say thank you one last time. When Jamie Foxx rose from his seat and walked toward the pulpit, the room fell completely silent. Dressed simply, his voice low and trembling, he began, "You know, D'Angelo didn't chase fame. He chased feeling. He chased truth. And when he sang, he made you feel like you were closer to God." His words hit the congregation like thunder wrapped in tenderness. Jamie recalled nights in the studio when D'Angelo would sit at the piano for hours, searching for one perfect chord, refusing to settle for anything less than pure honesty. "He used to tell me," Foxx continued, "if it don't heal somebody, it ain't music. That was D. He didn't perform for charts or trophies. He performed for souls." The crowd nodded, some weeping quietly, others whispering, "Amen." Jamie paused for a moment, his eyes wet, his hand gripping the edge of the podium as though to steady himself. Then, almost without warning, he turned toward the piano that sat near the casket. The same piano D'Angelo had once played during rehearsals for their Grammy performances, and began to play. The soft opening notes of Untitled, How Does It Feel, drifted through the air, but this time the song wasn't sensual. It was sacred. Jamie's voice quivered as he sang the first few lines, changing the lyrics ever so slightly to turn them into a farewell. How does it feel to be free, to be home, to finally see peace? By the time he reached the final chorus, the entire congregation was on its feet, tears streaming down faces, hands raised toward heaven. When the last note faded, Jamie whispered, "You can rest now, brother. You gave the world your heart." After that, one by one, others came forward to share their memories. Questlove, his voice shaking, said, "He made us rethink what soul meant. He made us sit in the groove until it hurt, because he believed that music was supposed to make you uncomfortable before it healed you." Erykah Badu followed with her soft voice saying, "D was spirit before he was sound. He was light wrapped in struggle." Lauryn Hill recited a poem she had written in his honor, each line echoing off the church walls like a hymn. He sang from scars, but we heard wings. Then came the moment that broke every heart in that room. D'Angelo's teenage son stood up to speak. Dressed in a dark suit that hung a little too big on his small frame, he took the microphone Everyone and knew said the quietly, artist, but I knew the father. He taught me that music was a prayer you could dance to, and now I understand. He wasn't trying to be famous. He was trying to be free. His words hit like a wave, and for a moment, even the strongest among them, Jamie, Questlove, Maxwell, couldn't hold back tears. As the service came to a close, the choir began to sing "Heaven Must Be Like This," one of D'Angelo's favorite songs. The sound of their harmonies mixed with the weeping of the crowd, and as they carried the casket out of the church, sunlight broke through the stained glass windows, scattering colors across the floor, as if the heavens themselves were saying goodbye. Outside, fans lined the streets, holding candles, some softly singing "Lady" while others whispered prayers. White doves were released into the sky, and as they rose higher, the crowd erupted in applause. Not for the man they lost, but for the legacy he left behind. In the days that followed, Jamie Foxx's performance spread like wildfire across social media. Millions watched the clip of him singing at the piano, his voice cracking as he said goodbye to his friend. People commented things like, "This is what real love looks like," and "Jamie sang straight from his soul." Artists from every corner of the industry, from Anderson.Paak and H.E.R. to John Legend and Miguel, posted tributes, calling D'Angelo one of the greatest soul artists to ever live. Even those who had never met him wrote about how his music carried them through heartbreak, faith crises, and self-discovery. Many reflected on the mystery that always surrounded D'Angelo: his long absences from the spotlight, his refusal to conform, his insistence on disappearing when the world demanded more. Some called it reclusiveness. Others now understood it as protection. He had been guarding something sacred: the purity of his art, his sanity, and his soul. Jamie Foxx said in one of his interviews afterward. He was preserving what was real. Looking back now, D'Angelo's journey reads like a gospel of triumph and torment. From his meteoric rise in the 90s to his silent retreat and his powerful comeback with Black Messiah, his story was one of redemption, a reminder that even the most gifted among us carry battles we can't see. His death may have ended his earthly voice, but his message lives on in every note that still plays across radios, in every voice that trembles with truth, in every artist brave enough to sing from the soul. Jamie Foxx's tribute wasn't a performance, it was a prayer. And for everyone who was there that day, it felt like D'Angelo himself was still listening, smiling somewhere beyond the light, finally at peace. Because the truth is, legends like him never really die. They simply return to the music they came from, leaving behind echoes that remind the world what it means to feel. Thanks for watching.